Hello, boos and ghouls. Welcome back to my channel. I am honestly so thrilled and excited for this episode, which is going to be a Summerween reading vlog, hence the Halloween t-shirt and the cute little ghosty earrings. In this episode, we're gonna be reading books fit for the Summerween season, as well as watching some of my favorite Halloween movies. I'm gonna wear all my Halloween t-shirts, and we're gonna carve a jack-o'-melon, amongst other things that I see fit for celebrating Summerween. I'm big on Halloween. It is my favorite holiday of the year, and I quite literally start celebrating it around my birthday, which is early August. I really like to savor a season or a holiday for as long as I possibly can, because it always goes by so fast. So this just gave me an excuse to start even earlier, to be honest. And I'm really excited for it. So in this episode, we are going to be reading books fit for the Summerween season. I'm gonna be wearing some of my favorite Halloween t-shirts. I'm gonna watch some of my favorite Halloween autumn films, and I'm gonna carve a jack-o'-melon, and then anything else that I enjoy and see fit to share in this episode. So you may be wondering, Kat, what is Summerween? And for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, there is this fantastical animated TV series on Disney called Gravity Falls, and there is an episode entirely dedicated to Summerween. And the idea behind it is that the town loves Halloween so much that they celebrate it a second time in the year, in the summertime. And I am on board with that. There's also a Bookstagrammer who hosts an Instagram page entirely dedicated to a Summerween readathon. And I thought this was a perfect excuse for me to jump on board and join in on the fun. I will link the account below in case you are interested in joining in any future Summerween readathons. Needless to say, this is going to be a match made in heaven for me. Near the end of June, I did have some polls that I had up for people to vote on which book to start with, which movies to watch. So when they come up in the vlog, I will also make sure to include the results of those. Without further ado, let's start this Summerween vlog. Future Kat here. I completely blanked and forgot to update you all when I'm done the books that I'm reading in this readathon. So my bad. I will be including a reading wrap up at the end of this blog before I officially say goodbye, and you know it's a finished video. So yeah, I'm sorry. Oops. So before I officially wrap up this video, I thought now would be a good time to actually talk about the books that I read during this Summerween readathon. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Dead Voices by Katherine Arden. This is the second book in the Small Spaces quartet, and it reads, to me at least, like R.L. Stine, Christopher Pike books, and I'm a big Christopher Pike girly. I read so many of his books between the ages of 11 to 13. And this feels like pure nostalgia for me. So I don't want to give too much away about this book. It is the second book in a series, as I mentioned. This one specifically is following Ollie, Coco, and Brian and their trip to a ski resort. Ollie's father won a pass to go to this grand opening for this new ski resort, and we'll just say that there's some spooky things happening at this resort. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it. Katherine Arden is a fantastic storyteller. I've read the first two books in her Winter Night trilogy, and it's beautifully written, and I can honestly say that she is also fantastic at telling a spooky ghost story. So this one I gave 4 stars. It gave me all of the vibes that I wanted in a spooky tale, and yeah, I honestly, like, if you are a fan of R.L. Stine or Christopher Pike like me, I would recommend checking out this series. It's so good. Next up is A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I went into this book pretty blindly. All I knew was that Dracula was in it, and I'm quite glad that I went into it pretty much not knowing the actual story of this book. I'm a big Dracula fan. One of my favorite gothic films is Bram Stoker's Dracula, which, yes, started my crush on Gary Oldman. This is definitely different than Bram Stoker's Dracula, but it is a story of Dracula. So it says, saved from the brink of death by a mysterious stranger, Constanta is transformed from a medieval peasant into a bride fit for an undying king. But when Dracula draws a cunning aristocrat and a starving artist into his web of passion and deceit, Constanta realizes that her beloved is capable of terrible things. Finding comfort in the arms of her rival consorts, she begins to unravel their husband's dark secrets. With the lives of everyone she loves on the line, Constanta will have to choose between her own freedom and her love for her husband. But bonds forged by blood can be broken only by death. And this reads like a confession, like a full-on confession to Dracula. Anyways, this was so beautifully written. I honestly did not, it's not that I didn't expect it to be beautiful, I just didn't expect how beautiful the storytelling was. S.T. Gibson did a beautiful, fantastic job on this. This was hands down such a stunning book. It was haunting, it was gorgeously written, and I loved it. 5 stars for this one. So next up is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. First things first, I went into this book with the wrong expectations. So I've never read a book by this author before, and now that I've seen the other books that they've written and understand the genre that they fall under, that was entirely on me. I was thinking it was going to be just a classic ghost story, like an old-fashioned one. You know, I'm always looking for the vibes that A Haunting of Hill House gave me while watching it. It is one of my, it's my favorite ghost story. Yeah, I went in with the wrong expectations for this book, so that falls onto me. All that aside, this was a really great book, and I mean, there are twists and turns, and I will honestly say that now that I understand it was a bit more of a thriller, there were things that I was guessing that I was correct about. There was one twist I didn't see coming, but the other ones I did. Okay? So, all that aside, let me tell you what this book is about. So, I'll just read the synopsis at the back. 25 years ago, Maggie Holt and her parents, Ewan and Jess, moved into Bainbury Hall, a rambling Victorian estate in the Vermont woods. 3 weeks later, they fled in the dead of night, an ordeal Ewan later recounted in a non-fiction book titled House of Horrors. His horror memoir of ghostly happenings and encounters with malevolent spirits became a worldwide phenomenon, rivaling the Amityville horror in popularity and skepticism. Today, Maggie is a restorer of old homes and too young to remember any of the events mentioned in her father's book, but she also doesn't believe a word of it. Ghosts, after all, don't exist. When Maggie inherits Bainbury Hall after her father's death, she returns to renovate the place to prepare it for sale, but her homecoming is anything but warm. People from the past, chronicled in House of Horrors, lurk in the shadows, and locals aren't thrilled that their small town has been made infamous thanks to Maggie's father. Even more unnerving is Bainbury Hall itself, a place filled with relics from another era that hint at a history of dark deeds. As Maggie experiences strange occurrences straight out of her father's book, she starts to believe that what he wrote was more fact than fiction. I really did binge this book. It was easily bingeable. The storytelling was great. Guessed a few of the twists. Was surprised by one of them, which I am always thrilled for because I like to be surprised with books. I feel like I did do a bit of a disservice for this book because I did go in blindly expecting just a classic ghost story. Still very good though, and that's all on me. I gave this one 3.5 stars, and I think it is because I went in with the wrong expectations. But this was a really good book, and I will definitely read more from this author. The last thing that I read during this readathon was The Life of Chuck in this collection of novellas by Stephen King. When I originally bought this book years back, I thought this was going to be a bunch of scary stories. No. Life of Chuck, the one that I read, was beautiful. It was poignant, it was sad, and it's really got me thinking. Like, it has taken up residence in my brain today, and I finished it last night. I don't want to give much away regarding Life of Chuck because it is such a short story, but basically here it says, the life of Chuck explores beautifully how each of us contains multitudes. Yeah, it was so good. This is a 5-star. Life of Chuck was a 5-star. It moved me. I did not expect to love it as much as I did. I can fully understand why they made it into a movie. And now I want to watch said movie. So yeah, I loved The Life of Chuck very much. So I did want to do a little shout out to this book, The Shining Girls by Lauren Beukes. I started it. I have not gotten that far. I am 33 pages into it, and I have a feeling I'm going to really enjoy it. I did read the majority of this author's book, Broken Monsters, and it was really dark. I had to take a break, and I do like darker tales, but I have to be in the right headspace to read those. So I took a little mental health break from it, but I have every intention to actually finish it because it is a really good story. I'm gonna read the synopsis at the back. Harper Curtis is a killer who stepped out of the past. Kirby Mazrachi is the girl who was never meant to have a future. Kirby is the last shining girl, one of the bright young women burning with potential, whose lives Harper is destined to snuff out after he stumbles on a house in Depression-era Chicago that opens onto other times. At the urging of the house, Harper inserts himself into the lives of the shining girls, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. He's the ultimate hunter, vanishing into another time after each murder, untraceable, until one of his victims survives. Determined to bring her would-be killer to justice, Kirby joins the Chicago Sun-Times to work with the ex-homicide reporter Dan Velasquez, who covered her case. Soon, Kirby finds herself closing in on the impossible truth. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly read that because I have every intention to finish this book. This is one of the books that I want to complete before the end of this year. I've had it on my shelf for several years, and I think the author is terrific at storytelling. And yeah, in case you're interested and want to check this author's work out. Thank you for joining me during this week of celebrating Summerween. I honestly had such a fun time. I felt all of the creative inspiration that I usually get during the month of October, and that was honestly very refreshing for me. I had an absolute blast. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Comment below if you celebrate Summerween or if you plan on doing so in the future. And hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys soon. Stay spooky, friends.